They are teasing something wild. Mike Sullivan's first look line combinations yesterday were very revealing. Will one player's resurgence result in another player's demise? I break it all down on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for blue shirt fandom, and I'm your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this marvelous Monday, the 22nd of September, and Mike Sullivan may have tipped his hand yesterday in terms of what his plans are for the season and what his line combinations will look like as we enter the start of the regular season on October 7th. But we have a lot to dive into here today, folks. But before we do that, a quick reminder to smash that subscribe button. About 77% of you who currently watch these videos are still unsubscribed to the channel, so please go down below and hit that free subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it so you can stay up to date with everything happening New York Rangers, because this is the place to be for all your daily New York Rangers content. And guys, you can be part of something special here at Rangers Digest, but let's waste no more time and hop right into today's video. So at the start of the New York Rangers training camp, Mike Sullivan explained that he likes to create early chemistry with pairs of players, if not complete three-man line combinations. We've seen JT Miller and Mika Zibanejad together since the start of camp, and Artemi Panarin was with Vincent Trocheck until the star winger landed on the injury list with a lower body issue. On defense, Adam Fox and Vladislav Gavrikov paired up right from the get-go. So as you can see here, Mike Sullivan really prioritizing chemistry on the ice and off the ice. You can see here in his conversations with JT, with Mika this offseason, they expressed the desire to play together this season, and that's exactly what we're going to see to start the season. Also, Artemi Panarin, before he got hurt, with a minor lower body injury, being very cautious there. We saw him playing with Vincent Trocheck, obviously during the 2023-2024 season, when the Rangers won the President's Trophy, not far removed from that. They were two-thirds of a line, that first line that formed one of the best in the entire NHL. Not only that, but last year during a down season, as a line, they still outscored their opponents 36-28 in 60 games together. That's Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, and Alexis Lafreniere. More on Alexis Lafreniere later in this video as well. But you can see here that Adam Fox and Gavrikov paired up right from the get-go as well, and they've been together ever since camp opened. And this is great to see because Mike Sullivan is simplifying, not overcomplicating. The Rangers' goal was to get the best out of Adam Fox this season. You heard Mike Sullivan say it, that he believes he can bring out the best version of Adam Fox that we've ever seen. And the way to do that is you sign his ideal partner, which is Vladislav Gavrikov. The Rangers were obviously able to get him on a discount. Players like Ivan Provorov, Keandre Miller got more money than he did, so it's great to have him here, but he is the perfect partner, at least on paper, with Adam Fox. Adam Fox is going to be able to get back to that offensive game that we know, he is so good at. With Gavrikov, you get a shutdown defenseman, you get a defensive specialist, you get a guy who's great on the penalty kill. So expect to see big things from Adam Fox this season. Great to see those two together on the first pair. But we have to discuss the rest of that top six on the blue line. What's the second pair going to look like? And what is the third pair going to look like? Sullivan seemed to have tipped his hand yesterday. You can see that Urho Vakanainen skated with Will Borgen on the top defense pairing Sunday. They won't be the number one pair when the regular season starts, but each will be on the team, and this could be the look of the second pairing, guys. Borgen appears to be a lock on the right side of the second pair, but it's interesting that Vakanainen got the first opportunity to be his partner and not Carson Soucy, who was in that role before next to Borgen when they were Seattle Kraken teammates. Now, this is from ForeverBlueShirts.com. Jim Cerny makes a great point here that Will Borgen does seem to be a lock on the right side of that second pair. The question is, who will be his partner? We've thought that it's going to be Braden Schneider making the transition from the right side to the left side, playing on the second pair with Will Borgen. We all know what Borgen brings to the table. This guy hits people at a high rate. He blocks shots at a high rate as well. I love him on the second pair, but I thought putting Braden Schneider next to him would be a good balance. Braden Schneider has that offensive skill set that Borgen doesn't seem to have. I've heard pushback from fans saying maybe put Borgen and Soucy together. You know, they had a good connection in Seattle. We haven't seen it yet with the Rangers. Obviously, Borgen's been good, but Soucy, when the Rangers acquired him, has been dreadful. But Chris Drury betting on the fact that he could, you know, turn back the clock to his Seattle Kraken days and form a shutdown second pair. But guys, it doesn't look like that. It looks like there's a better chance we see Carson Soucy on the third pair than the second pair, and that has major implications for a player like Scott Morrow. We're going to get into that in just a second. But Urho Vakanainen, this is a player we've spoken about in depth on the channel. Very interesting case here. 26 years of age, coming off his best season in the NHL. A solid player. It would form a good balance with Borgen, but I really like the idea of having Braden Schneider with Borgen and having Scott Morrow on that third pair. But now it looks like Scott Morrow's chances of making the team are dwindling, and I spoke about it yesterday. You know, starting the game on that third pair was a bad sign for Scott Morrow. But you can see that Vakanainen and Borgen produced yesterday in that 5-3 win against the Devils. Vakanainen and Borgen each was a +3. Vakanainen led the Rangers with 23 minutes and 58 seconds of time on the ice, had an assist on Johnny Brzezinski's goal, and took a pair of penalties, including a cross-checking minor in the final minutes. Borgen logged 21 minutes and 56 seconds of total ice time, including a team-high 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the penalty kill. So you can see there, Vakanainen and Borgen getting a lot of playing time yesterday, producing. Seeing Borgen get a lot of time on special teams is encouraging as well. There were also some other interesting lines up front. There were some combinations worth noting as Sullivan tried to piece together the third line as well. Husso Parssinen, the front runner to center that third line. On Sunday, he centered a very effective line that included rookie Gabe Perreault and veteran Connor Sheary, who's in camp on a PTO. More on him in a little bit. That threesome was the best line combination on the ice, accounting for 2 goals. Perreault and Sheary, solid puck possession, and numerous scoring chances. I spoke about it yesterday. Gabe Perreault, Connor Sheary, both going top shelf. Gabe Perreault looked electric, looked very fast, looked very loose in the open ice, was making some great passes, and topped it off with a top shelf goal. Connor Sheary also looked very, youthful and exuberant yesterday as well, despite his age. Now, this has serious implications on players like Brennan Othmann, on players like Brett Berard. You can see here from Molly Walker, Connor Sheary's AHL assignment last year gave the 2-time Stanley Cup winner a new perspective. Now he's looking to break back into the NHL with the New York Rangers. He said, "This was my number 1 choice," he told the Post. "It was the first team we asked for a PTO." You know that connection he has with Mike Sullivan going back to his Pittsburgh days, winning 2 Stanley Cups, not only being a leader on the ice and off the ice, but producing as well. He had some very solid years with the Penguins. We haven't seen it as of late. Spent some time with Tampa, spent some time in the AHL, but now he looks rejuvenated. He looks youthful. He looks excited to be playing hockey again, and Mike Sullivan absolutely loves this guy. That is why we have to keep an eye on him. Not only that, but he has also looked good in camp, looked good to start the preseason yesterday, so keep your eye on that. In the same vein, Brennan Othmann, just spoke about him a little while ago, and Taylor Radish played on the same line Sunday as well. There's certainly a world where they are the wings on the third line opening night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, so it's no surprise that Sullivan took a look at them together against the Devils with bottom 6 option Justin Dowling at center. That line was held off the score sheet Sunday, though Radish and Dowling specifically were pretty solid at both ends of the rink. Othmann's preseason debut will be best remembered for the 5-minute elbowing major. He was assessed for a third-period hit against Callan Addison yesterday, and it looks like he won't receive any type of fine or suspension for that hit yesterday, which is encouraging. But guys, this third line is wide open and up for grabs. We know how good Noah Laba has looked, challenging Juuso Parssinen, the front runner, for that third-line center position. But it is worth noting that Parssinen was paired with Connor Sheary and Gabe Perreault yesterday. The expected third-line starting center was paired with Perreault to his right and Sheary to his left. One of those players could certainly make the opening night roster and start in the top 9. But then we also saw Radish and Othmann together, guys. Radish was paid to come here We all expect him to start on that third right wing position. But there are no guarantees for Brennan Othmann at left wing. There are also no guarantees for Brett Berard either. I mentioned how Connor Sheary is really complicating things here for the Rangers. And Brett Berard, I believe he deserves a shot to start the season. He looked good last year in 35 games, producing 10 points. And let's not forget, he tore his shoulder, tore that labrum in his shoulder, was still an Energizer Bunny, was still productive. I believe he deserves a chance more so than Brennan Othmann, who we haven't really seen produce at the NHL level, and Connor Sheary, who hasn't done it in quite a while, even though he's been impressive in camp. I look at him as more of a leader, a 13th forward, but nevertheless, that third line competition is getting fierce. Even the fourth line, we expect it to be an identity fourth line with Edstrom, Carrick, and Rempe, but nobody's spot is solidified or guaranteed there either. But what we do know is that third line is going to be a fierce competition. Parsonen and Laba going at it at center. You got Othmann, Sheary, Berard fighting for one spot at left wing on that third line. You have Gabe Perreault, Taylor Radish going at it. Things are going to be, fierce. These next 5 preseason games are crucial to decide who is going to lock up those spots on the wing at the forward position as well. One last thing I want to get into here. This was from yesterday, from Vince Mercogliano before the game against the Devils. The Rangers were getting some power play work in yesterday morning. Power play 1 featured Fox at the point, Lafreniere on the right wall. This is major, guys. Trocheck in the bumper, Mika on the left wall, and JT at the front net. I spoke about it in a previous video. In order for the Rangers to get the best out of Lafreniere, we've seen Sullivan explore playing him at his natural left wing position so far this offseason, but we really have to utilize him on the power play. He was second on the Rangers in even strength points. What does that tell you? With the man advantage, he will produce. So good to see Mike Sullivan exploring that possibility as well. Go check out that previous video on Lafreniere. But guys, leave your comments down below. Who's going to start at third line center? Is it going to be Parsonen? Is it going to be Noah Laba? What about the wing positions? Who's starting at left wing? Is it Berard? Is it Othmann? Is it Sheary? Who's starting at right wing? Is it Radish? Is it Perreault? A lot of question marks, guys. We seem to know what the top 6 looks like, but that bottom 6 is getting very, very interesting. Leave your comments down below. Give us a follow on X. It's in the description at Rangers Digest YT. And if you haven't hit that free subscribe button, hit that button, guys, so you can stay up to date with everything happening New York Rangers.